is still on it. And today I have the pleasure to welcome Dilip Sood, the director of White Pebble, that is candidate for Best Child Actress at MiraBan UK Film Awards. Hello, Dilip, and thank you for being with us.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thanks a lot.
So we might have Disha Pundir, also the co-writer of this film, on board with us. So if you see someone appearing out of the blue, it's not a stranger, it's the co-writer, and we really hope that she can make it for the live interview. In the meanwhile, we carry on with Dilip. So first of all, some information about Dilip. He's the founder of Dilip Sood Films, founded in 2001. He founded this company with his brother. They produce 3 features, and they are working on 2 new features at the moment. He's has been filmmaker for the last 15 years. He produced features, TV series, and shorts. And for this, in 2019, he produced White Pebble, which is a very tender story of Titli and Vishnu, 2 children who are friends in a village that is a bit far away from the city center. And one of them is going to leave for good. And Titli, who's the little girl, she's afraid to lose her best friend, like she, in a way, lost her father. So I really want to know now, because it's a very tender story, and I know you concentrate on stories of adolescence, youth, and teenage life, and you are very much connected emotionally in your artworks with your past and your teenage life. So I wanted to know, did you took inspiration from something that happened in real life to you when you first moved, maybe from your village to Delhi, or is there anything personal in the story?
No, I'd have a lot of personal experiences with while shooting and seeing my
Mm-hmm.
my some of the actors and all, because I have been born and brought up in Delhi. So I wouldn't say that this comes from my personal experience of actually moving from village to the city, because I was born in city and been raised there, educated there.
Mm-hmm.
For past about 15, 20 years, been a lot of feature films and television programs, and then subsequently the internet, short films and all that we've been doing with children, and have had a pleasure of actually making some of the wonderful, most popular youth and children program in India,
Oh,
school
wow.
days, and a lot of them which were very, very popular. And
Mm-hmm.
then our film Summer of 99, again on the youth, went for a lot of festivals. So that's when I realized that it's absolutely fantastic to have the raw energy of untrained actors. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a pleasure to work with trained actors in a different way. But when you're talking about working with kids, though, it's very difficult, because they will not obviously work in a particular schedule or a subscribed manner, but they would do their own things, and that's the beauty of it. Once you have been able to channelize that wonderful raw talent of kids, then you always have a fantastic product um, at your hand. And I would say that how we selected in most of our feature films or the short films or the television programs that I had been doing
Mm-hmm.
is how comfortable or unaware a fresh actor, be it a kid or a adolescent uh, or any other actor, is
Mm-hmm.
unaware of the camera, not exactly following, trying to say a particular line in a way. Because I would personally, I always felt that when you are not acting and actually saying, and with particularly with the kids, they would not say it the way you would ask them to say it. They would say it how they would feel it. And
Mm-hmm.
I would believe that's the best way, just explaining them the situation, sequence, scene, and then let them be. They would bring something which is absolutely startling for everyone, and that's how they connect with the audience, because audience would can see the truth in the performance. Same happened with Titli and Bishnu for White Pebble. We did auditions with lots of kids for so many months, and then that's how we decided that this is a good the best
Hi.
actor for
Sorry.
the role of Titli or Vishnu.
Yeah,
Vishnu,
finally, Disha
yes.
made it in the
I'm
live
really
stream.
sorry. I'm really sorry. There was some technical issue. I couldn't connect then,
No
but it's
worries.
fixed now. Yeah.
I hope it's fixed now. We are in live stream, so I was going through the questions with Dilip, and since you're here, did you finish, Dilip? By the way, did you
Yes,
finish?
yes, I'm good.
Cool.
I've said
Since now I have both the writers of the story, I wanted to know where this idea came from. If you know, it's something that is in your personal life, Dilip, or it's something that you experienced and you saw, and you spoke with Disha and you found a way to tell the story. How did it work?
I'd first just try to introduce how this whole process happened. Disha, she's been my assistant for a couple of projects about a couple of years back, and then she ventured into writing. So there was this another story that we were working upon, which was a story of a mentally challenged girl, and that's again a short film, which was a very sensitive subject. During the course of shooting that film, Disha came with this concept to me, and rest obviously she will explain what triggered that thought and how did this germinated. So, Disha, would you please try to explain this?
Yes,
Yeah.
please,
Thank
Disha,
you.
tell us.
Thank you. So, by the way, so the kids and little kids and their stories and their emotions really
Can you
intrigues
hear
me
me?
a lot. Yeah. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes, we can all hear
So,
you.
yeah, so kids, little kids, their stories, and I wanted to write a story where I, tell a story of two kids from somewhere like a very remote place in India, and which is filled with emotions, and there's nothing big, nothing a very big thing to happen in that, and a big thing to say. So basically, when I was when I told her about these two, this little girl, the protagonist of the story, which is this little girl, 6 7 year old, who has this just one friend that she plays with, and she doesn't have a father and just a mother, and there's just one friend that she plays with, and finally she comes to know that he is moving out of the village where they live together, like they're neighbors, and they play every day. So she comes to know that he is finally moving out of the village to a city, a big city, and then how she realizes, and a story saying said from a 6 year old's perspective. So how will she feel, and how is she
I
going to
can't
react
hear
to
actually.
such a situation? So basically it's like, so I told her about the story, and he helped me with the screenplay, and I just told him a little brief concept, and he said, yeah, you should go for it, and let's hear you, and let's see the first draft. And then I sort of I wrote the first draft, and then he helped me in the screenplay, and then finally we could write the whole story. It came together, and then
Cool.
the rest.
And about the theme of, in a way, migration, what's the general perspective in India and in of the people who live in the city center, people who live in the village? Is this sense of loss in a way of, because in the film it's very nostalgic. It shows that in a way the village keeps preserves better intimacy and feelings that are more family relationship, and in a way the city stole the father from the little kid. So what's your idea of the city, both of you? I mean, writer and director.
Should I go first,
Yeah,
or
please.
Disha, you take
Yeah,
that?
yeah, please go for it.
I will tell you what I thought and what I wanted to present here. In India, there's a huge sect of people who migrate from the villages to the cities. In fact, that's the thing with most of the countries where which are developing countries, and more so with India. There's a huge sect which goes from villages to the cities in search of the work, and sometimes it's very difficult for the kids to understand that to earn the livelihood, they would have to be displaced from their native place, and it takes away. I just wanted to present this a very sensitive part of a bigger issue, a larger issue of migration, where more than the dreams for a kid, for friends and dreams have been taken away just by this one process of migration, where they're just going in search of livelihood. In the film, by the end of the film, the boy asks his father that when are we going to return, and the father says, when they're all walking a long walk towards the bus stand, or the city, he says that we might not, or we would only come back once we have some work here. So that goes on to show, I wanted to tap a larger issue of that, if for developing country or for any country, if uh, we fail to develop it in the interiors, then ultimately it is going to rob the children of their childhood, their dreams, and much more than they're just friends and the things that we can see. So it's if you notice the last shot of the film, suddenly the all the wood that she was finding so difficult um, to set aside, and to the work that she used to despise, the little kid, she comes back and starts doing the same work. So that goes on to show it's a very sensitive thing, that in just one moment, one night, that she's grown up so much. And these are the things which do not find any place in much larger scheme of the things, when the policies are made. But these are very, very important things, and if we are not able to preserve that innocence of a kid, then 20 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, we will have machines. There will be a dearth of emotions that the kid is supposed to grow with. So those are the very little things that sometimes get ignored in the larger scheme of things.
Right. And also the little white pebble that she gives to him. It's like
Yeah,
a reminder of homeland, like of simplicity in a way.
absolutely. The most prized possession for her had been that white pebble, which she denies to even lend him for his turn in the game. But then it must have really been very difficult for her. And the last thing that she could do, which she does in the morning, and gives that one white pebble to the most prized possession of hers, to her friend who is going for good.
Right.
That's a very touching thought. I thought that's how would a kid otherwise say that don't go, or I'm going to miss you. These are not the words, so many words or emotions that the 5 6 year old generally. If you see the wonderful films across the world, even Majid Majidis and all that, you would see that the emotions are uh, conveyed through their deeds, through their gestures, because they don't have so many words. If being the writer or director, we would have given them, okay, you will have to say this, they would have said those lines, but that would have looked so much more writer's thought or director's thought. Whereas if you really want to dig into a child's psyche on that. All she could do was she would give her best thing to her
Mhm.
friend who's going for good.
Right.
So I think that
And
that was
Disha,
pretty heart touching.
did you want to add anything?
Yes. One thing I wanted to really underline in this film was that the girl never really understands the intensity of the whole situation,
Hmm.
and she gets really mad at him that you're leaving the game in the middle and this is not fair and you're such a cheater.
I'm sorry. Is it a
So
possibility I can hear Disha, what Disha is saying, because I can't hear her?
What's wrong? Sorry.
I can't hear what she's saying. Is there a possibility that I could
okay, I
listen
think
to
he
what
can't
she's
hear
also
me.
saying? Yeah.
Can Okay.
Mm.
Can you hear her now?
Sorry, I've
Sorry, guys.
interrupted.
We are in live
Disha,
stream. These things happen. Let us check a little bit the sound. Disha, is
can you
your?
speak here?
I think. I mean, I hear her. If
Oh, you
Dilip,
can.
could you check if?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Mm.
Yes, I can hear you. Do you hear her?
I can't hear Disha. I can hear you, but
Ah, you know
Disha
Can
what?
you,
has to say.
If you
sir,
do, you see
can
her
you hear me?
icon in the bottom of
Hello.
the
Yes, I
three
can.
icons of us? If you click on her microphone icon, you can unmute her because maybe she's on mute on your computer.
Okay, I'll try and do that. Anyway, you guys go ahead with the discussion that you were having.
Yeah.
I'll try to
Yeah.
listen.
Sorry, give us a second. We'll fix this, people.
Can you hear me now,
I'm so
sir?
sorry. I'm so
I
sorry
can
for
hear
that.
you, and I hope he can hear you too. You
Okay.
can.
Yeah, I can't hear Disha. I can hear you. That's okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
that's fine. I mean, I hope that as long as the audience
That's
can
fine.
hear her, we have recorded,
Absolutely fine.
and we can move on with this one.
Please do. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
I
what
was
was you saying?
yeah. Yeah. So I was saying that one thing that I really wanted to highlight in this one was that the girl child never really understands the intensity of the situation.
Mhm.
She never really thinks it like that. That she's never gonna see him again. And same goes for the boy. So the girl gets really angry, like you leaving the game in the middle, and you're like not completing the game. You're such a cheater. So her reaction is like that. But it's for the audience to realize and understand the intensity of the situation. That this little girl will never get to see the boy, and vice versa. And the
Mhm.
boy is so innocent that he just does not get the intensity because maybe he's not that attached to the girl. Maybe the girl is only attached to the guy, to the boy.
Mhm.
So this one particular thing I was really specific about. I kept this in mind while writing the film, and the dialogues are very gibberish. They're just talking about anything, about games that he's playing in the city and how the tall buildings are there and what does he do there. The dialogues are really gibberish. So I I tried to write in another way, but then sir told me that just write it like a child would talk to
Right.
each other, two children. It
And
can get
did you
yeah.
let them improvise a little bit on the writing on what you wrote?
The children pretty stuck to the script. They were not
Ah,
really improvising, but yeah. So they were very disciplined and because they were supported by their parents and all. So their parents were making sure that they do not improvise and stick to the script. So children
nice.
were pretty.
Cool.
Yeah, that was
So,
a really good experience with those
oh
kids.
yeah, I imagine. I mean, it was really touching in a way. It looked very spontaneous from their side, as we
Sorry.
were saying. They are untrained actors, so they are kind of natural in the way they say lines. And one thing I wanted to ask you, Dilip, what's next? What's your next project in terms of a narrative story? Do you have in mind a feature maybe related to this theme or something new that's going on?
There are two projects that currently we've been working on. One is written by Disha herself. That's again a very beautiful story set in the remote village in the hills of northern hills of India. That's a story of a kid who's deaf and mute, and his father is an artisan, and he makes this handicraft, small little items, and sells it in the cities. And what happens when one day, and that's one of the stories. Apart from that, there's a father-son, very interesting story, which is Slice of Life, which again is set in 1980s Delhi, late 80s and early 90s. It's a father-son story. So there are one feature film, one short film that we've been working for last about 6-8 months now after this production. And let's see, we would go in production in next 6 months after this pandemic is
Okay,
eased.
well, that's fantastic. I think we can't see you anymore. If you can check down in your screen, if you can click on the camera icon, we will be able to see you again. We can hear you very well, but we can't see you at the moment.
Okay. So, huge camera. Do I click on the link once
Yeah, there is
again?
a little icon at the bottom where you see your own image, your own video. If you click on the icon of the camera, you will be able to reconnect. Sorry,
No, I
people,
can't
we
see
will
that.
make it.
Yeah.
All our
Oh,
stories
Trying to
actually
see.
revolve around young talents only.
What did
Can
you
you see me
say?
now? Yeah.
I'm saying that all our
Can you see me now?
concepts and
Yes.
all our stories revolve around young artists like kids and small little children. That we're very much into young talents. Yeah.
That's how you are
You can see
always
me now.
working in a team in a way. How long have you been working together? Dilip, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you now. Absolutely. It's been 4.5, 5 years now. She started as
Mhm.
an assistant with me, assistant director, in one of the television projects that we were doing with kids for National Network, for National Channel of India. And then she was working with me on one of the feature that I was doing, which was on adolescence, which is Summer of '99. That's on class 11th and 12th students. And then we started with the first short film that I did, which she wrote, which I just spoke a little bit about, which was about this girl who's mentally challenged. And then we worked on this film White Pebble for past I'd say 1.5 years now. That's
Oh, that's been a while
2019.
then.
Yeah, it's been a while. 2019 mid is when we completed this film.
Right.
So it
How
was
many
such
days of
a
production
delight.
did you have for the making of it? How
Uh,
many shooting days?
Shooting wasn't stretched for a very long time, but the prep and the post production, inclusive of all of that, was I'd say about 8 to 9 months, which was I would say very quick for a short film. But the shoot was even shorter. We completed in less than about 8 to 10 days with a little bit of patchwork and all that. So it's we tried to finish this because since I'm myself producing it, and we didn't have uh, a very huge budget, so we tried to squeeze this with the resources available. The only thing that we were lucky enough to do was that we were able to rehearse for and do the workshops and do the blockings and those sort of things were for 2 months, 2.5 months is what we were there on the location and doing that.
Right. Oh, well, definitely that helps a lot, especially with kids, because they have a better memory, but they might just wanted to go with the flow and, never know what happens with
Right,
kids. Unpredictable
right, absolutely.
actors, but great actors. Anyway, that's been a pleasure to host you both. I really was eager to know you both, and especially you, Dilip. And I'm really
Thank you very
happy
much.
that you joined the live session, despite all the problems with connection we had today. I want to remind the audience that you can watch White Pebble on our platform from the 28th till the 30th of August, and you can also vote for your favorite film of the entire edition, either a short or a feature, and it's still through our website. And if the film is winning with us at this edition, it will also be streamed until the 7th of September on our festival partner, Festival Emergence platform. So I really, really encourage you to watch White Pebble by Dilip Sood, co-written with Disha Pundir. And thank you very much both for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for having us. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Bye for now.